Alright, today let's get started working on yet another dead MacBook. Here we have an A1706 MacBook, and it appears to not be turning on. We can open up this MacBook and see what's going on the inside. First thing we have to do is take the screws out of it, get the board out of the machine, and see what it's doing. This machine is a bit of a pain in the ass to get the board out of because there's a bunch of different screws in it, and they're all different types of screws because Apple, and all little types. You'll see. Let's just get this whole thing taken apart. So here we have a T5 screw, over here we have a T3 screw, over here we have another T5 screw, because again, Apple. Let's just get this thing taken apart. Beautiful, beautiful. And cross screwing it. I can cross screw. Alright, so this is something that I do to save myself some time. So I'm not going to unscrew the charge port, because this is not like the charge ports that just slide in and stay there. These are charge ports that, they're like FPC connectors, so when you put it on there and then you plug the charger in, it's immediately going to unplug the charging port from the board. And that's a pain in the dick. So what I do is I pull the board up just a little bit. You know, I'm not going to flex it, you know, all U8900 style from the 2012 A1398. Again, I'm not Apple. I don't want to destroy these things. But I am going to do that just enough so that I can ease the charge port out of there so that it's still attached to my board when I take it out. Makes life easy. Makes working on the machine easier. And if it's easier to work on the machine and you become more efficient at it, then you can do more repairs. If you can do more repairs, you can make more money. Now, it would be really funny as if this already worked. If that's the case, I will likely rage quit. Today is not a day where I'm really in the mood for one of those things where the board it says no power, but then I plug it in and it already works, and I have to like go through it and hunt for what it is, or the customer sent me the wrong computer, or even some shit like that. That's not something I got the patience for today. So let's see what this one does. Are we rage quitting or are we continuing? Rage quitting or continuing. So what do we get? When I plug you in, this machine that says no power in the ticket, it's taking 300 milliamps at 5 volts and boot looping. Ooh, this could be fun. Ooh, fun. Yay, it's actually no power. Beautiful. What does this charge port do? That charge port is totally dead. Five volts. 350 milliamps, and done. Okay, so this one may actually be a little bit of fun. So now, while it is at 5 volts, one of my questions would be, is PP3v3_G3 hot present? Let's see what we get there. PP3v3_G3 hot is going to be required on this machine in order to get a green light. I mean, 20 volts. Oh boy. I'm losing it. I also forget where PP3v3_G3 hot is created. Ah, over here. Point 17 volts for a pulse. That's not much good. Wait, am I measuring on the wrong place? I am measuring on the wrong place. What? Hi. No hi. Hi when hi bye. Okay, so where was I measuring? I was measuring on PP bus. Yeah, I was measuring PP bus. I shouldn't be measuring there. What? Fixed? Oh, beautiful.
Did you even make a ticket?
No. Do you know how to make a ticket?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So So this resistor. So PP3V3 underscore G3 hot. Let's see what we have with the resistor. Okay, so it is 3.3. It's capable of making that, but the charger is boot looping, which means we likely have an issue with the CD3215. So now what we have to do is figure out which CD3215 it most likely is. The CD3215s are the 4 ICs responsible for the charge port. So we're going to take a look. We're going to zoom in with our microscope. This CD3215 looks pretty and is covered in underfill. This CD3215 looks dusty and covered in underfill. It also has a little residue there of a solder blob. What is that? What is that? What are you doing just chilling on this MacBook, you little piece of whatever the hell you are? Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's get rid of that thing. What is this? This is a pretty CD3215. And there's one more CD3215. And that's going to be right here. So right over here, we have a CD3215. That cap may look blown, but it's not. It's actually underfill that's sitting on top of the capacitor. What are you? Why is there solder balls sticking out around you? 3 solder balls. This whole side of the board has actually got solder balls popping out everywhere.
Hi, do you fix MacBooks?
Get the fuck out of my store. What's really interesting is I don't see this chip accounted for in the schematic and diagram. Ah, it's not a chip, it's most likely, yeah, that's just a diode over there. So that's a diode that goes between ground and a 20-volt input. So I would be curious at that point if there's a short to ground anywhere over here. A short to ground would cause all sorts of problems, but it doesn't look like we have a short to ground. So that's not something that is concerning to me. Now, one thing I'm interested in is seeing if after removing that piece over there, if this works again. So I removed the little piece of whatever you saw right there, and we're going to see how this works. And we still get 5 volts, and then it takes 300 milliamps. And power cycles, and there's no evidence of liquid damage. There's no evidence of anything, really. Now, it could be that one of these CD3215s is getting hot, and the only way to tell if that's the case would be to hook up the Please Bro camera. So I am going to find a Please Bro camera. We're going to try out our Please Bro machine. So here is the Please Bro machine. Much please and much bro. Now, sometimes one of your CD3215s will be getting warm. And if a CD3215 is getting warm, that could be causing the issue. That CD3215 could be the bad one. Of course, the Ethernet wire to get to the Please Bro camera is just too short to make it, like most wires in my office. Okay. So we're going to take a look here using thermal cam. Nothing gets warm on this side. Nothing gets warm on this side. Well then, that's a 60 degrees Celsius CD3215. And on this side, 42. So keep in mind, this is not actually 42. That's not the one that's getting hot. The one that's getting hot is the one on the bottom, and it's heating the board to the other side. So this CD3215 over here is at its hottest point over here, 60 Celsius. Now, the way that this machine works is in order for the charge port to be giving me 20 volts instead of 5 volts, the CD3215 chip over here needs to be able to communicate with the charger. So if we take a look at this side of the board, what you'll see is that there is going to be a little connector here that the charge port goes to. So if you see over here, see this is my charge port over here, and that plugs into the board on this connector. And that's what you're seeing right here. This is our charge port. And the charge port is going to speak to the CD3215 chip. Like so. See that? The charger, CD3215 chip. Now if any one of those chips doesn't work, rather than getting the full 20 volts, it's only going to supply 5 volts. One of the interesting things about how the MacBook Pro is designed, if any one of its Thunderbolt ports malfunctions, none of the ports will work. It only takes one port malfunctioning. One CD3215 is to fail in order for the entire machine to fail. So the more ports you have, the more liability, given that it only takes one chip's failure for the entire design, the entire machine to die. If you have an old-style machine, let's say it has 2 or 3 USB ports, and one of your USB ports fails, typically your other ports will still work and you'll still be able to charge your machine. Or if your HDMI port fails, you're still able to use your machine. In this machine, if any USB-C port fails, the entire machine becomes useless. Just like that. It's the Apple way. So what we're going to do here is we're going to remove that underfilled CD3215 and replace it with a better one, a happier one, and go from there. And perhaps then this board will work again, and the board will be happy. Okay, so now we're going to unplug the Please Bro camera. Everybody say thank you, Please Bro camera. Please Bro camera. And one of the ways to tell very often if it is one of your CD3215s that's doing it is which is the one that's the hottest of all your CD3215s. So now we're going to prep the board for the work that we're about to do to it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to unplug the charge port because we don't want the heat that we place in the bottom of the board to melt any of this into place. So we're going to take a magnet, a T3 screwdriver. And we're going to unplug that charge port. Just place it on the side, like so. After that, no biggie, just going to turn the board around. And this is going to be the fun part because this chip is underfilled. Underfill. Gross. So we are just going to go like this. And we're going to find a knife. But unfortunately I don't have a knife. It was stolen. So we're probably just going to rip the chip off the board while heating it. The fun part of my job. So let's remove this underfilled CD3215. Much heat. Now, once I'm at a point where I can poke these caps and they move, I'll know that I'm at a temperature where I can take this off. F off my board, you filthy chip. Whoops. Alright, we may just have to find an X-Acto after all. I thought I could do that with my tweezers, but no luck. If I can't get an X-Acto, I'll probably just find a box cutter or something. A box cutter will likely do just fine. And here we have a box cutter.
I bought you 5 brand new X-Actos. Where are they?
I haven't had an X-Acto up there in like 6 months.
Hey, 6 months. A couple weeks ago, I bought you 5 new ones.
They don't arrive at my desk, they arrive to Steve, or to Camille, or to an L. Where X-Acto?
What did you do with all your X-Actos? Did you eat them?
I don't use them. I don't get them.
Yeah, you did.
Lies.
I made sure they came up here.
I use box cutter. It'll be fine. So we cut this.
Lies.
A box cutter is just as exact as an X-Acto knife. Just going to gently cut this area. Separate the chip from the board. Obviously, I'm pushing diagonally because I want to push on the bottom of the chip rather than pushing on the actual board itself. Check it out. And while I'm at it, I might as well flow those components back into place that I moved around a little bit. We have a capacitor, a diode there that could be all moved back into place. And if anything needs to be moved back into place, it'll be moved back into place very nicely with the Amtech flux that I put down. Table flip. Jesus Christ, you don't want to come off. You little bastard. Alright, we're going to box cutter this a little bit more. This is what happens when you don't have an X-Acto. But who needs an X-Acto when you have a box cutter? I am the new shipping clerk of Rossman Repair Group, and this is my box cutter. I actually used to use a box cutter right around large BGA chips, like when I would do the GPU. I would etch the board a little bit so I'd know how to place it properly. It was pretty helpful. Very gentle etching. Okay. Nasera is here. Shanade. Now we're gonna go what some people would call ham on this chip. I have gone ham. RIP. GTFO my board. This is my board, mofo. Nasera has returned to my live chat with 5 times as much makeup as what was previously in her profile picture. I hope you didn't spend all of your soldering income, all of your soldering funds on makeup. Also, how is your A1466 that you were fixing? I hope you were able to figure it out and get rid of that solder blob on the DCN board. We haven't kept up. It's been a long time. How are you? Also, it looks like Tim Herman is here. How is Tim Herman doing? And Mobile Fix. I recognize all of you. It's been a long time. How are you all doing? Alright, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be a little bit of an asshole. I'm going to take my wick. I'm going to find my wick. Making fun of the audience makes me feel better about my own screw-ups in life, like my inability to solder a CD3215. And boy, I really can't solder a CD3215. Now watch me rip all the pads. Huh? I would actually license your name. Other day a thread popped up in a Swedish tech forum which spawned a lot of responses all about you. I can only imagine it would be nothing good. Okay. The first person who gets rights to my name in Sweden would be Nasara. But she has to tell me how her MacBook Air has been doing. Making fun. Repair put on ice since I took a vacation. You get a vacation? Oh, now I'm definitely gonna be... I'm jealous. I want a vacation. Okay. Now the wick is pretty good for scraping away the underfill. I like it. Good old... Now we're gonna go back to the box cutter. We don't need no stinking X-Acto knife. Doesn't have the precision of a X-Acto knife, but we'll make do. Okay. Let's clean up a little bit. Nasara, can you do me a large favor and look up that Swedish tech forum and tell me what MobileFix has been saying about me behind my back? Because I don't speak Swedish very well, but I'm curious how much shit-talking is going on. I will pay you well to be my spy. Right. I don't know the name of the forum, unfortunately. Okay, looks like we got one missing pad that does matter, one missing pad that doesn't. Easily fixable with a little bit of a jumper. I'm out of practice. I have not been doing as much board repair lately as I have been doing teaching, management, shipping, customer service, and a litany of other jobs that I used to pay people for. And so I have not exactly as in it as I usually am. So it's expected that it'd not go as well as it was if I was doing, 5 to 10 board repairs a day again. And granted, let's face it, I wasn't exactly the best at soldering beforehand either. But we're going to make this work. It's going to give us a nice 20 volts. And part of this is, one of the things that's really important, by the way, when you're doing anything like this, is some positive thinking. None of that shit. I never want to hear that crap. People going, the moment you start doing that, you're pretty much done for in life. You know what I mean. Every single one of you has been around somebody that's... The moment you hear that shit, just run. Quit. Your boss is probably an asshole. It's a shit way to go through life, dealing with people that do that all day. So, yeah. Nothing that I screw up is something that I can't fix. Wait. You've hired half the company again. I'm working on it, actually. Yes, I'm working on it. We are doing a company purge. I'm going over the stuff that's not up to standard, and I'm being my typical asshole self and purging. When you're doing this, never go, You can laughingly say, fuck. Even when you do that, is it, oh, fuck? Or is it, fuck? Let's fix it. You know, it's all in the attitude. The attitude is going to have a lot to do with your outcome. This is one of the misconceptions I think a lot of people get about me from YouTube, is they assume that because I criticize things that I don't like, that I'm a negative individual. Or that... It doesn't matter what situation I'm in, I'll find a way to make it work, you know? I'll find a way to make it interesting, fun, productive. Don't matter what it is. You gotta have that attitude, because there's a lot of things about life that are really depressing. And if you lose your shit over the fact that your CD3215 didn't go the way you wanted, you're fucked. So, what are we doing here? So, what we need to do is reattach this right here. See that? Just gonna reattach that, and it's gonna be beautiful. We're just gonna take ourselves a little bit of Amtech flux. You know damn well where that's available by now, don't you, folks? I know you do. I know you know where that's available.
This video is brought to you by our sponsors at store.rossmangroup.com. Thank you for supporting our sponsors that help keep us in business. On store.rossmangroup.com, you can find chips, supplies, ultrasonics, flux, soldering stations, and more. With 4.9 stars on Shopper Approved, same-day shipping from New York City, and free continental shipping over $30, you can't lose. We even offer free support, unless you're a Please Bro, live chat, and are adding new products every day. If you buy today, we'll throw in a special offer that your order will actually go through properly. What are you waiting for? Go to store.rossmangroup.com to get yourself some authentic Amtech flux. Don't delay. Buy today.
These are no longer tweezers. Okay, now I gotta see what that pad on the bottom is for. That is the 6th pad. And that unfortunately appears... Oh, wait, never mind. Wrong side of the board. Huh. That is not connected. Thank God. I was looking on the other side of the board view. That was very... Okay, so yeah, that pad doesn't actually go to anything, so we don't have to give a shit about it. I'm just going to put a little bit of wick on this. Why in the hell am I trying to wick with this freaking hot tweezer? Okay. Do you know why that so many of these, you know why I ripped a pad? And you know why I had to run a jumper? Because I made fun of Nasara's profile picture. You see what that is, folks? That's what we call karma. Karma. I made fun of the profile picture of one of my most loyal viewers, and this is exactly what I deserve. A difficult repair. Life is indeed more fair than people think. Yeah, stop it. Stop it. Yes. Okay, now everybody, this is going to be UV light. Don't look at it. Don't look at it because UV light is bad for your eyes. If you look at this, it's bad for you. Don't look. By the way, if you want to know where to get this UV light curing pen, as well as the conformal coating, check out store.rossmangroup.com. Now our job is going to be to place a new CD3215 chip over there. And by the way, if you need a new CD3215 chip, check out store.rossmangroup.com. We sell new CD3215 chips. Let's see if this works. We've greened over those areas. It should be a happy little board with a happy little CD3215. That's all it needs. Because this is a board that I picked.
Did you take that as stock?
Of course I didn't.
You're not part of the solution, you're part of the precipitant.
We need a better way to deal with this. You have to log into a website that has a CAPTCHA every time you do this?
If I had unlimited amount of time, I would have had an Arduino project made up for this so that you just hit a little button right here. And
I have the site set to when we have less than 30, mark it as out of stock.
Mm-hmm.
Not just reorder. So this way, because I try to estimate how many we use in the store versus sell.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, like, we not only do you have to go through the website, find the item, you have to actually deal with a CAPTCHA and choose which of the 3 traffic lights here. Have you seen that?
If you do that once and don't clear your cookies, it stays.
I'll take it out of inventory. I feel guilty now.
You might as well just take a strip of 10 and take 10 out of inventory and keep them on your desk. That's what I do. They don't vanish off my desk.
Okay, we got the chip in place. Yeah, then nice try, asshole. Nice try, asshole chip. Today's really not my day. I legit forgot how to fix boards. Soldered on. I'm going to take that chip out of inventory. Now for the moment of truth. Let's see if positivity helped us on a bad day to make this board work again. Remember, not all of your days will be perfect fixes, but all of your days should be positive ones. 5 volts, 20 volts. Check it out. We have 20 volts and 800 milliamps. Now, I knew even when it was still stuck at 5 volts that it was going to work because it wasn't taking 300 milliamps, which is what it was doing because this chip was shorted and it was shorting a power rail to ground. We're getting 20 volts, which means the USB-C chip, the USB-C MUX chip is able to communicate with the charger. It's able to request 20 volts instead of 5 volts. It's no longer boot looping. It all works. It's the power of positivity. There's one book I actually suggest all you read. So a few years back, I recommended that all of you read a book called Start With No by Jim Camp. That was a very, very helpful book for me. I recommended a lot of people read it 6 or 7 years ago on this channel. I forget exactly when. It was a very helpful book in terms of how I deal with all different types of business situations. And the next one is going to be this. So one book that I suggest that many of you read is going to be this one. This book has been very helpful to me, and I believe it'll be very helpful to many of you. I actually made it mandatory that somebody here read it, which they're probably not really feeling that, but I'll put that right here. The Mind-Body Code, How the Mind Wounds and Heals the Body. Fairly interesting book. Highly suggested. You read the book, more of your MacBooks will work, like this one. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. See you in the next one.